Day. Tonight's topic is going to be an amazing, fun conversation about women in business. And actually, it's the first discussion that I spearheaded. And Ms. LaShawn Woodward is going to be the first woman that's going to actually spear things off, talking about just women in business. You know, of course, men can join in on the conversation. It's not that we're putting men out, but it's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that happen in business that you don't take a lot of celebrations for. You don't give yourself a lot of credit for. And I really want you to hear the real stories from ladies, from women who are doing it in your community. So you may think, well, I didn't construct that big business and I didn't, put together everything, but you got a big part in that. You played some part in making some things happen. So this is the reason why I'm huge on celebrating every little thing that we do and making sure that you remember that you're a badass. And you've got to remember your part is always about producing, and growing, and definitely inspiring the next woman as well. So someone's looking up to you. I promise you they are. And today's conversation is going to be led with no other than one of my great friends in the industry, Mrs. LaShawn Woodward-Hall. Started in the real estate business 16 years ago, not only licensed here in Maryland, but also DC and Georgia. And what I love about her is that she's got a huge heart and passionate drive for a lot of her clients to make sure they get what they need. She also has a tax business that we're going to talk more about, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about some of the other ventures that she is diving into that pretty much no one else in the real estate world is looking into. So I wanted to introduce Ms. LaShawn Woodward-Hall of Legacy Real Estate. Are you there, my love?
Yes, I'm here. Hi,
right.
ladies. How are you?
Right. This is a fun discussion. So whatever you have in your cups is what you have in your cups. It's fine. That's fine.
Coffee.
Okay. You have coffee. So I've got water in mine. So that's what we're going to do for now. All right. Did I miss
Let's
anything?
see that big wine glass.
Look, if I put wine in there, it's not a problem. Okay. We deserve it. We deserve it. One of the things I forgot to mention is that LaShawn also plays a huge part in the community with Prince George's County with is it nonprofit Hope?
Yes.
Organization.
Housing Option Planning Enterprise. Yes.
Yeah, Hope. They do a lot of community advocacy for affordable housing in Prince George's County as well. So she means well. And so let's talk a little bit more. What else did I miss, girl?
I think you covered pretty much all of it. I'm pretty sure some was still out here and there. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So now you are a real estate broker now.
Yes, I've been a real estate broker for 13 years.
So guys, when we first met, I met LaShawn when we were working at Keller Williams together. Yes. And that was your first real estate company?
Well, actually, when I first started the business, I was in Georgia and I affiliated with Keller Williams. So I seen how their culture was in Georgia. So when I moved, I'm originally from this area from Maryland. When I moved to Georgia, the first brokerage that when I came back, I only stayed in Georgia for less than a year. I came back and I searched for a Keller Williams in this area. So I was with Keller Williams for 10 years until I became a broker.
Got it. Okay. So even before coming up to Maryland, you were already in real estate.
I was already affiliated with Keller Williams.
Oh, okay. That's news to me. So why did you choose real estate? What made you get into real estate? Yeah, that's
really when I started, the market was changing, but actually my father was, so just to be clear, you might have a nickname or something. Everyone calls me Legacy. And the reason they call me Legacy is one of my businesses is Legacy and whatever after that. But my father was a real estate investor and he was acquiring and reselling, but he wanted the money to stay in the household. And so he encouraged me, which I had no idea about how much money people were making in real estate back then, and multiple offers and things. I had no idea. I didn't even search to be a real estate agent, but he led me in that direction. So when I relocated from Maryland to Georgia, that was the first thing. I was searching for jobs in Georgia, and it was hard because it was competitive. My background is finance with the nonprofit sector, and it was hard for me to find a job. So on top of my father kind of encouraged me to go into real estate, I did it, and I felt as though when I moved to Georgia, I didn't have the contacts or the relationships like I did back in Maryland. So I ended up relocating back to where I was comfortable. So I never in my life thought, and I had said it several times, so never say never, I did not want to be a broker, and I ended up a broker. So the real estate business I committed to real estate because when my father was encouraging me, he had a stroke. And he had a secondary stroke. Prior to the secondary stroke, he was bragging about me, and I wasn't there mentally. And he called me and said, well, did you sell your first house? And I was on the phone, and I was getting irritated because every time he talked to me, he'll ask me, did you sell your first house? And that first year in real estate is kind of rough. And you're like, no, I haven't. You're making me feel bad. No. And the last conversation I had with him, he asked me, did you sell your first house yet? And I said, Daddy, why you keep asking me this? I will let you know when I sell my first house. And that was my last conversation with him. So I committed from that to continue on doing exactly what he told me in the business. He was a good businessman. He taught me real estate. He told me, encouraged me, and I made sure I stayed in that field because he told me what to do. And I felt so bad because that was the last conversation. So I ended up committing to everything that he taught me. He taught me I have a tax business. I led by his legacy of what he told me. So that's why my businesses are called legacy, because he taught me how to run a legacy, how to continue a legacy. And real estate, I didn't think I was going to be in real estate this long. So when you new to the industry and you're looking at everyone, they're like, I've been in the business for 22 years, trust and believe it sneaks up on us too, because I've been in this business longer than what I even expected, but it's something I really actually enjoy. I enjoy it. When I go out and meet with clients and interaction, I love it. So, and it always gave me the sense of having my own schedule. Being independent. At this point, we use this word all the time. I am truly unemployable. I cannot see me working for anybody because I'll probably be the first one fired.
I don't know.
There's no other job, so I have to make it work. So that's how I ended up in real estate. It wasn't by passion; it was by choice of guidance through my father.
Right. Right. Well, I love it. I love the story. So now you see there is always something behind the name. Because I knew, the story, but a lot of times when you start something, it's got to mean something. You're not just starting something just to say, oh, I'm doing it just because. It's typically a why behind something and why you're starting a project, why you're starting a business. Why is the name like this? There's a why. And that's the reason she didn't do this just because of money. That wasn't it. It was because I've got to carry on the legacy. So I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
And so, and I stand by that, and continue on, and I just keep growing from there. And I actually had to pray and ask God, what was the name of my business going to be? And the whole connection with legacy. And when I hear about family ties, and now I have my nephew that I raised, he's 13, he knows real estate, he knows finance. Like, I'm saying the legacy is just keep going on and on. So I'm glad I was able to stick to that name and hold the promise that I committed to.
That's good. I love it. And he's watching everything you do. So a lot of the things, even though you may think that children are not paying attention, he's watching you stand up late, do things, showing properties, take lock boxes off. Whether he goes into that industry or not, he still respects you as a woman, as a figure, to just say, yes, she's not lazy. Like, she got busy with everything. And we'll talk a little bit more about your tax business as well, because that's another branch of what LaShawn does is she has a tax business of her own. So let's go back a little bit. Legacy, I love it. Legacy title, legacy real estate. And so now when it comes down to 2006, you really started in Maryland. So you started after a lot of the crash was happening.
I'm sorry, I started with.
How was real estate then when you were like around 2006? Because that was a tough time.
Yeah, I received my license in 2005, 2006. That's when the market crashed. And I end up, so when I say I came in on the big crash and when there was nothing going on, I end up taking on a niche of foreclosures and short sales. And I became a housing counselor. So that's where hope comes into play, because I actually, under the executive director, I volunteered at first to learn the business, which I really, I volunteer a lot if I need to know something. And from there, I end up going into bankruptcy. I started working for bankruptcy attorneys negotiating their short sales and navigating through some of the foreclosure properties. So I end up building a niche over the years. And through that market, I've seen, like right now, I'm seeing the same type of trends. I don't think it's going to be as bad, but I see the typical trends that it's good to have a niche in what you do in real estate. For me, now we go from there. Luckily, I found a niche. So when a lot of agents, you know how you see people getting their real estate license left and right when the market is at its highest, and they're like, oh, I see how much money, especially when you go to closing, you know, your client's looking at your commission.
Oh yeah, people working at Safeway had their real estate
I could do this. Yeah, I have a few people that left, you know, dish me, and they got their real estate license.
Everybody was a realtor in 2006.
So they get the real estate license because they see the good in the market, but when the market gets tough, you start seeing a lot of agents fall off. But if you have a niche, if you have a niche and a solid niche, then you'll be able to sustain. So I learned that, and I'm glad I came in at a tough time versus at the most happiest times and making money, because now it's became a business to me. You know, so I over the years, I end up contracting, doing the short sale negotiations. Then after that, I actually start building the brokerage, but I did not build I just not said I want to be a broker. I actually had my tax business first, and I was at Keller Williams. I had a whole office, and I looked at my expenses as far as I'm paying technology fees, all fees, but at my office, I actually had these things going on. And so the agents that work with me had a tax background as well. So the conversation came up. Why are we paying these fees here when we're in this office and have the same dynamics and we're able to switch between real estate and taxes? So the question was, why don't you do your real estate broker class? And I thought about it and I said, well, that's a lot of responsibility, but I end up doing it anyway and passed and end up creating the real estate piece, you know? And so did I really say anything? I want to get in real estate? No, it's a purpose. It was a purpose for me becoming a broker because I seek independence, you know, and everything just start flowing together. So I think from now, just what I've learned over the years, what I've taken is making me a better agent, broker, everything now.
For sure.
See a shift, and I think I'm ready for that shift, you know, and I'm not dependent on if a sale closed or, you know, people know to contact me when they're in a certain situation. So I've built that business on its own, you know, and I'm proud to be able to do that over the last couple of years, but
no, that's I mean, doing short sales,
I've been in real estate.
I had to adjust as well because those were the times where short sales were becoming more on the market. In 2009, got my CDPE designation just to make sure that, you know, I can keep up with things that are going on. But I remember that you exited and got another office during that time period. So for financial reasons, when it makes sense, it's got to make sense. And that's the reason why you have to move your money to make sure the taxes make sense too.
Mhm. So now I have to, just like any other business owner, I am rebuilding staff because I allowed the young ladies to do unemployment while I was there. But in the meantime, I have an office in Greenbelt, but then I work from home. We were doing more virtual working than working in the office. So I decided, because I think, and I'm going to discuss this in business, I have mentored a lot of women, but I feel as though, you know, sometimes you put into people, but then you need quality.
Yeah.
And I felt as though, while that was an opportunity to focus on not quantity of staff, but quality of staff, I actually did not bring them on when we start going back into the office. So I felt as though that is a perfect time for me to rebuild the type of staff that I want in my brokerage. And those women, to this day, I've had 3 actually become real estate agents from what they experienced from me, and 1 go into the tax business. And 1, I had her on full time, but now she works with me during the tax season. So it's not like I'm lost the mentorship, everything that I put in, because they still are committed to me. I just did not want to, especially rebuilding and losing money during the pandemic. I did not want to hold on to that expense. And that's one of the things that, as being a business owner, you have to just, in any business, you have to make a decision what is going to be the best thing. And a lot of businesses, a time revamp, bring in different skill sets, and that's what I'm doing now. And I used the pandemic. Now, last year was booming, you know, as far as real estate, you know, and then from doing it's fine, I still stick with quality. So I ended up gaining quality that I have agents that just want to put their license affiliate with the brokerage, but they weren't really working, you know. So now I have working agents. I have agents that are committed, and that's what, and I instill what a legacy is. And so ones, not to say I discriminate, but I want hungry agents that are building a legacy, that they have a family that they're building up, and they're hungry, they're out more, you know. So
there's a purpose behind it, because just like how you started the business, you don't want just to bring anybody on just because they just got their license. You know, there got to be a purpose behind it. So yeah, I'm thinking with anything right now, it's a lot of shifting going on anyway, because people don't know how to coin what they do. There's no niche. Alicia, that's why I was letting you know about that rent with option to buy, because when you coin one area of the industry, you can stay right on that and people will be attracted to you no matter what season of what's going on in real estate. So you got to stay in a pocket, like, 2007, 8, 9, and 10. LaShawn and I were both doing high amounts of short sales. Some agents were just like, nope, I don't want to deal with that. It's too much paperwork. But then you've got the other agents who are saying, yeah, come on, because that's exactly what I know and I'm certified what to do. So, yes.
And that keeps you going. You have to think about it. A lot of agents, I always use a lot. So I'm generally speaking, there are agents that want to deal with renters, and there's agents that don't, because they look at the commission split and things like that, and they forget that they're building relationship for next. They're going to be ready to purchase. They will call you and refer that business to you if you build that niche. Hey, especially now when people aren't purchasing like they were, hey, they need to rent, So now if you put that niche out there, you're going to become this special. Say, oh, I have somebody that wants to rent, but I don't want to deal with them. Alicia's name is going to come to their top of their head. So offer short sale, because short sales are so detailed. People don't want to deal with it, or they hire a short sale negotiator and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. I've been in the business long enough where some people agents fire those negotiators that take $2,000 or more out of a transaction, where I will do it and get it done. So, so you got a niche. Every agent that I have trained or I have mentored, I push a niche. Whatever classes that's available, most definitely whatever you all want to do, find a niche, get all the education that you can about it. A slower market, this is the time to get all these classes. Like for me, CDPE and things like that are coming up. I go to foreclosure conferences, so I know who to contact. I'll spend that money. And there's agents that don't even want to put the money in. They just want to receive free information from their brokerage, but they won't go beyond their brokerage to learn their niche. So that is most definitely go beyond what is offered, go above and beyond, and go to
She preaching,
whatever
y'all.
is out there. There's other,
She preaching.
Yeah, because it's true. Because I said, even with some of my agents, I say, step out of your broker. Your broker is there to assist, but it's your business.
It's your business.
So you have to pour into your business more than your broker does, because when it's all said and done, you're a 1099 contractor with that broker. So you are self-employed, and you are building your business and your brand. You could brand off, that's where the niche comes in. So you make more money, I think. You see, everyone wants to do luxury. Luxury might not, luxury just looks good because you're talking about large homes, could have a different clientele, but there's other niches in real estate. For me, I'm looking more into development, commercial. That is my next thing, because it goes along with the business. That's my next niche that I'll be working on. Or there is the rental niche. There is helping small, like that's commercial, but small businesses get little retail spots or office spaces. People that need to read seller education, the listings.
Or entrepreneurs who need to get
entrepreneurs.
So yes, exactly. All stuff and no fluff. That continues on. You know it, Ari. That's one of the things that I had shared with everybody. These conversations are all stuff and no fluff. We don't really talk about all just nothing. We talk about everything so that people can walk away with something and just say, that's one thing that I can walk away with this and really start working on it tomorrow. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you for holding down the internet when bust out on my Zoom. So with everything that you know now, what would you have done different when you first started? From what you know now, what would you have done different?
Build my database properly. So I can have the same clients that I was working with when I first
Yep.
started compared to now, and be the person on top of their head.
Mhm.
That I would have a transaction and say, hey, thank you, for give a little thank you gift and keep it moving, but you have to build that relationship. And I then would have really taught myself how to farm a little better.
Right.
And I think I would have been a broker a little sooner than what I was.
Think so? She cutting the expenses down even shorter. You guys here?
Question
Yeah. Hey,
for
Robin.
LaShawn. Hi.
Yeah.
So when you say you wish you would have been a broker sooner, why is that? Is it the money that you're saving, or is it less headache, or is it just you have more
To
hands?
me, it's less headache because I like control over when my this is 100% honest. I like control over when my finances are coming through.
Right.
And I like to brand, because even if a company offers all the marketing, I like to do my own, and it makes sense. If I'm putting that expense out there, why I'm going to pay another company to stuff? And the brand of the company is one thing, but you're the agent, you are the brand.
Yeah.
So I learned that a long time ago. I didn't have to be with Keller Williams for people to still come to me because of the name. I am the name.
Exactly.
And so I wish I would have saved a lot of money and cut the middleman out sooner than what I did. But I've learned so much. I'm still vested. Don't get me wrong. I'm still vested with Keller Williams. And I still go to some of their training, but I feel as though that I made more as a broker than what I did as an agent, not just because my agents are producing, it's because I'm producing, I'm putting more effort into my business, my brand. So I seen my dollars go up tremendously.
Sure. Y'all saw that passion in her eyes when she said that, right? But you still had to walk the walk of being an agent so that you could
Absolutely
get the experience of being a broker.
Yes, get the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was told, don't be a broker. Is a lot of expenses. Is all how you structure the business. Now in 2022, and we'll talk about it, things are more virtual. I have an office space. I can't even tell you, agents go there, but people are working more from home. They're working from home on their 9-to-5 jobs, real estate wise. They're using virtual environments just like this and Zoom, so the culture is changing.
So speaking of virtual, let's talk a little bit about what your coined niche is, because you coined something that most realtors that I know are not even touching that. So talk a little bit more about your.
Not yet.
Then, yeah, but you're already at least a year or two in front of the situation. So talk a little bit more about your virtual experience.
And it started just before the pandemic.
Okay.
All right.
Ready. Come on.
You ready?
We ready.
Okay. So one of the things that I'm gonna go in two different directions. One of the things that I start working on is virtual reality. And virtual reality, I have two different headsets that I use. I use virtual reality in real estate is something that is going to be expansive over the years. And what I was telling Lorie earlier is that one thing that I know that is happening is the way people view properties. Mm-hmm. And if you know about EXP Realty, EXP Realty started off as a virtual environment. Right. And they were the spearheads of using a platform which was what I'll say used on your computer, and you go into their office space or you go into their training environments as an avatar.
Mhm.
So if you don't know what's going on now, Facebook is now Meta. Meta has a virtual reality platforms that they're releasing, and they're getting people accustomed to what using yourself or being in a virtual reality environment as an avatar. So if you look at Meta and you look at your Facebook page or Meta page, you could use an avatar, right? The little lady is like, you know, all that stuff. That is to condition your mind of being an avatar.
Mhm.
So if you pay attention, I'm gonna show you what I work with, okay? I have two different headsets, and let me know, have you ever seen it? So this is the Meta Oculus Quest.
What's it called?
With this takes you, so I have two. I have this one is where you might see kids, people run into the walls and
Yes.
things like that. This is not just a gaming platform. This is actually used in different ways. There's a web browser in these headsets, and you know the virtual reality virtual tours that you have on your listing. In those virtual tours, if it's Metaport, and what I suggest more agents do is when you have listings and you have a photographer, ask, do they use Metaport photography? That's the 3D image where you could do the virtual tours.
Yeah.
Those tours are actually set up for these environments. So when you look at a house in the Quest web browser, instead of you looking at a virtual reality tour and if you're familiar, you hit a little button in a floor plan and it'll take you from room to room.
Mhm.
And you could use your cursor to move everything around.
Right.
That's made for virtual reality platform. So when you have these headsets on, you're actually in the house and you can look up, you can look around every nook and cranny. You could see this house.
Mhm.
So those platforms they're opening, what's happening is the evolution of real estate. You could actually have, talk to your clients, you walk and tour a property using virtual reality. You can have a conversation in a video, and these people, whoever use these virtual reality headsets, could actually have interaction and feel like they're getting immersive experience in the home or with the real estate agent. So I know this is a platform that is moving. And if you watch what's going on with Meta, they are working really hard to build and push these virtual reality headsets. So that's one headset I use. And then this is a new one. This is the
Oh my
updated.
goodness.
Yeah, this one is updated, just came out last week, and this is used for production. So what Meta has set up and Microsoft is virtual reality rooms. So how we're on the Zoom call, you're able to actually be an avatar in an environment, and you can bring in Zoom calls, and this is where things are going. So I hate to say different companies, but I want you all to know how things are going and who's the leader of
Right.
these virtual environments. So this is something that's really moving forward and it's progressing, and it's still in beta stages, but it most definitely you'll start seeing and hearing more about Meta. Or this one, the bigger headset, this is for production, where you're able to use this, meet with staff members, or in an environment where it's like a meeting room environment.
Right.
And you could put this on and still type on your keyboard, so it's about production. So I am trying to see how to bring this environment together as far as real estate and production.
So when it comes down to that space, I know that a lot of people have bought property in Meta. How does that work?
Well, they haven't bought property in Meta. They just bought virtual land or space. It's intellectual property.
Right.
So there's different platforms, but it was a big boom when someone bought Snoop Dogg built this house and things in the metaverse, and somebody bought the land next to it.
Right.
And then the price went up. It was tremendous, but that wasn't virtual reality. That was in a computer, like 2D world. what you're buying is intellectual property. And what you're buying, once someone, just like real estate, you buy the property, the more people that's buying around you, then your value goes up. But then that's where like Ethereum, you start going into more of the digital currencies with that. So you have to see where we're progressing. Now we're starting to use digital. Now everything's Cash App, this, that. It's not no any dollars. Now it's more, you could see it. Now it's going to transition where they're going to start using these blockchains for currency. And now you're going to be able to get real estate through that, but you're not getting real estate, you're getting digital real estate.
Right, but it's still worth something.
It's worth something. So just when it stocks, it's like a stock. You invest and hopefully the price goes up. And that's what it does. And what I have established, I've established retail and I've established worlds where I spent money, thousands of dollars to build a retail space that I could sell to a company and really, reap a benefit off of that.
Let's talk about this retail space. What kind of retail space do you have inside the metaverse? Get your coffee. Get your coffee.
I started an adult toy store business in the metaverse. And with that, in the metaverse. And with that being said, it was because there are couples that on these different platforms, there's couples that are meeting and getting married in real life.
Are you serious?
And yes, I'm serious. That's what is Facebook, Instagram, all the social platforms. You can find a husband in the metaverse, but these interactions, I was just thinking how to keep people together and excited and be in each relationship. So I brought the adult pleasure toys to that environment. And so people go into my world and they actually purchase and visit and they're able to see the products and they purchase it through the worlds. And it shows me how things are, it's better to have a non-brick and mortar environment and more of a virtual reality environment because it reaches more people, and that's the same thing as real estate. We have gone in and I've met other brokers and we have a referral system within our social environment.
I think since 2020 anyway, there was a lot of times we couldn't go places. So this is kind of where it needed to be anyway. So hey, you guys got to connect with her a little bit more about the virtual space because no matter what, we're going in that direction. And I love the fact that you are one of the only realtors that I know in this area that have started that. So yeah, kudos to you for that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna continue on because I see the platform really, as time goes on, I believe in it and I see where it's going, and I know it's going to be a tool that we'll be able to use as real estate professional.
Okay, all right. So we've got real estate mogul, broker. She is definitely coining that area. She has got the virtual space down. And now she's working on, she's been working in the tax space as well. So if you know of anybody that needs any of those conversations, make sure you connect with her. I had a couple of personal questions I just wanted to ask you, just so people can see the other LaShawn behind all of that professional that you do. How is dating for you?
How is dating
for you, since you have a lot of business going on? How is dating for you?
Dating, I am really selective about dating because I have established so many things, and you have to watch the motive of people,
everyone,
and people who like to steal your time, because dating could be distracting at times. I enjoy, so I'm gonna say because I'm a year on the 29th divorced, and I had to learn this new, it wasn't like when I was with my year. So imagine how that is now with people, and men. So I do of who I date or have around. And when men meet me, it seems like they want to build a business builder for men. For women, yes, because I believe in sisterhood.
Right.
But you're not going to build a business with my resources. Sorry.
He's
if
like,
anybody
let's
get
build a
offended, but
business. He's like, let's build a business
yes,
together.
like everybody that I meet, I have to help. They want to
Aw,
build a business,
that's
and I'm
cute.
like,
That's cute.
businesses that
Let's open up another commercial building together.
well, I have to see the motive, because I've met want to give, so I'm just really selective about
You should be.
who I deal with.
You should be.
Yeah.
That's your time. Because if anybody
Yeah,
takes
so-
you away from what you're doing, like that just breaks the
Yeah.
focus. So you gotta understand. So when you in your real estate transactions, what has been the best gift that somebody has given you?
Well, one of my boyfriends now, he was one of my clients, so that was a good gift.
Very good gift.
I ended up dating my client.
So that one worked out. So that one worked out cool.
That one worked out, yes. We've been together.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
But let me
The thank you gift.
good thank you gift. I don't know. I've had many. I've had a family. They gave me a massage and like a self-care
Mm-hmm.
gift, which I thought was really nice of them.
Definitely.
So I take that as like one of the best ones.
How about the worst
self-care.
gift? Have you ever got a gift that you were like, why did I get this?
Let me see.
I don't think I had any bad gifts.
I don't think I ever had a bad gift.
No.
Oh,
If I have any clients that give me gifts, which is rare, I'm not looking for it, but I don't have any
Right.
bad gifts. No.
has anybody else had any bad gifts? I haven't received.
I've had some bad
It's that
Christmas
bad, I
gifts.
can't remember.
I've had some bad Christmas gifts. I were like, you know what? Somebody's about to get this again. Re-gift
Oh,
it. And there's nothing wrong with re-gifting because it was a gift to me. So now it's my
Yes.
choice to give it as a gift to someone else.
Mhm.
All right. So here's 10 things about LaShawn I want to find out real quick. You ready?
Mhm.
Number 1, what's your favorite movie?
Dead presidents.
I remember that movie. Number 2, what's your favorite food?
Pho.
Who?
Pho. It's like,
Oh, okay.
yes,
Like,
pho.
oh, okay. Favorite vacation spot?
Evan was this close to moving to Tulum, and I go there often because of the culture in Tulum.
Mhm.
So during the pandemic, that's where I was back and forth
I remember.
running my business. I was in Tulum because they believe in holistic things, and I like it, and it's peaceful. Yeah. So
Okay.
Tulum.
Okay. All right,
Mhm.
Mexico. All right, place for a date. What's your favorite place for a date with your man?
Oh, I just found a new one
Mhm.
that I thought was kind of cute. Was like swingers. It's in DC, but it has a nice vibe to it.
What's it called?
So that swingers.
The golfing place?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that.
I
for
like
people
golf.
online.
Yeah, golf. Yeah, I said golfing. Swingers.
I was there too. I like the place. I love the vibe.
And I like top.
Yeah, better. It was better than Topgolf to me.
You really?
I like it. Yeah.
Then they have different street foods you could order, and
Mhm.
you could carry a drink. I
I
love it.
like that part too. I love that part too. All right, number 5, favorite place to live.
I only lived in certain areas. However, I love Georgia. I just think the
Mhm.
time that I went, I was younger, and I think it's a great
Yeah,
the race. I like it's laid back, but it's progressing. I like Atlanta.
yeah. It's getting crowded.
Yeah, it's King.
Getting crowded. All right, so Atlanta's your place? So favorite place to live?
Mhm.
All
Are
right.
you talking about locally?
Anywhere, anywhere on earth,
Oh yeah.
or even in the
Mhm.
metaverse. I don't know. Metaville. That's where I like to
I
be.
love I love being in the
I
metaverse.
know you do. We're gonna get there soon.
I mean, I meet some dynamic people there. I just met someone that has a nonprofit for women that just came home from prison. I meet dynamic individual. I meet
Yeah.
entertainers, so
I,
yeah.
I, I like to come down and check it out.
Okay.
All right,
All
number
right.
6. Your favorite hobby.
I didn't hear you.
Your favorite hobby.
Well, I have different hobbies. I have auto cycle group that spearhead, that's the slingshot. So it gives me a chance. That's my favorite hobby because it's a 3-wheel auto cycle. So that's when on my downtime, I think I'm a race car driver and I'm
It
zooming
does. Put
around,
the bandana on and everything.
build
It
it.
looks good.
Yeah, so I build it up. I'm into cars and yeah, so that's one of my favorite hobbies. Yes.
See, some things you never even know about her.
Mhm.
Number 7, what makes you angry?
People. The way, it makes me angry when people are selfish, and I'm a giving person. Now look at what, especially with women,
Selfish people.
just selfish people.
Okay.
Hmm.
Clean that up a little bit. People.
Yeah,
Yeah,
selfish people.
okay. Number 8, your biggest fear. People.
Honestly, as being an entrepreneur, retiring and not having retirement,
Mhm.
just having a little bit of Social Security, that is my biggest fear.
Right. You don't know
Ready
when
for
that time is
retirement.
going to be up. You don't know when that time is
Yes.
up. And self-employed, we don't have the 401k plan. We got to make it.
Yes.
Got to make it. That's good. All right. Number 9, what makes you laugh?
A good movie, a good show.
Yeah.
I'm a and I'm a comedian within myself, so I kind of make myself laugh, and I like making other people laugh, and I'm
Yeah.
sarcastic. So, it's a minute, yeah. Just dealing with, just working, being around people that have good sense of humor,
Right.
along with my sense of humor, that makes me laugh.
Okay. And number 10, proudest accomplishment.
Proudest accomplishment is being a savvy business owner.
Yeah.
And raising a child that's not mine to
Mhm.
be, I removed him from a toxic environment and to see the talents that he has grown to have in his mindset. I think that's one of the biggest accomplishments now.
Much
And
respect.
yeah, so that's I love seeing
And
that.
he's
So I
becoming a
think,
chef. And he's
yes,
becoming
he's
a chef.
becoming a chef.
Keep
And
him.
basketball. He's really, and in real estate, I hear him talking. I don't know, he might be an attorney, but he knows real estate. And it kind of shocked me at an early age because
Yeah.
he asked me to reassure him what the difference between an apartment and a condo was at an early age. And he broke it down to me what it was, the ownership. And I said, okay, now I know. I keep building in him. He has a full understanding of what the
He's
real estate
listening. He's listening, girl.
is. So yeah, I
And
like
what
that.
age did he spit that out?
6.
Golly.
Yeah, because I used to take him as a baby into houses and
Oh.
put him on my back or chest. I had to excuse my clients. Hey, I have to have this child with me, but we're going in this house.
Right.
So he learned that and listened to the conversations over the years. So I'm really, you know, especially with young people, I have a sense of, okay, this child is going to be okay if something was to happen to me, and possibly, I can't guarantee it, but possibly be able to take over a business or the brokerage when he gets older.
Yeah, he's good. Some people can't even explain the difference at this age, what the difference between an apartment is and condo. It's like, it's 2 levels, right? It's 3 levels, right? No, it's, you know.
And it's bigger than that, because he is an entrepreneur at heart. And he learned that from seeing me build a business, and his father, which is my brother, he has a business. He's an entrepreneur. And again, we learned this from our father, and just seeing how that's the legacy, how it's being passed on to another generation. My sister's an entrepreneur. My older brother's an entrepreneur. We don't know anything. We know more, but we utilize what we were taught. So to see the offsprings and the other younger generation pick up on that trait is amazing.
It's in the blood already.
Yeah. So
I had looked up my family tree and I saw Woodruffs were nothing but entrepreneurs. I'm like, oh, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
So I can't keep a job even if I tried. I'll try, but it may not last for a long time. Even for those that have children, one thing that I don't have small children, but I was one, so I wanted to at least stress to you, everyone is not meant to go to college. It's great for the experience, no doubt, because I went for a whole 1 semester, and I knew one whole semester, I saw what it was about. And I'm like, I know in my heart, I'm not supposed to be here. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, but I knew that. So when you have children, it's not the automatic approach to say, you got to go to college, because they may hate you. They may waste your money. And that may not be the fit for them. You know, give it a shot, of course, to see if that's the route that's going to be for them. Again, the experience is everything, but it may not be for them, for everyone.
One thing that my father told me, so I'm on the thin line with that, because what I've experienced of being a business owner, I went to college. And I'm like a few semesters away from having a bachelor's, because I started and then I ended up getting real estate and just focused on that business. However, when I was younger, my father had told me that if I was an entrepreneur, that I would make more money than somebody that is working if I work hard at it. And I took that and I believe it, and I actually seen it for myself. However, I wish I would have finished. So when I was in college, my background was finance. So that was my accounting. College could also help as bringing that business management piece into play. And that's and even with Kendrick, he wants to open up, that's my nephew, he wants to open up his own restaurant when he gets older. But he also in his mind he said, well, I'm going to culinary arts, but one of my secondary things is going to be business management, so I can know how to properly run my restaurant. So I think, yes, most definitely, you don't need a college degree, but I do think it helps when it comes to running a business.
It does. And just also know that there are, even when you go to college, there's still educational classes outside, you know, that you
Yeah,
can
that you
still
could take.
take to enhance whatever, whether it's cooking, whether it's open up a cleaning business, mobile home business, whatever it is, there's still classes out there to further educate what you need to know.
Absolutely.
And one of the things we didn't talk about was your boating experience, legacy, boating.
Yes. Yeah, boating.
We
I'm a
can talk
captain.
about that. She is a captain as well.
Yeah, that's a hobby, but also so I have a 30-foot yacht, and I took last year, and I ended up becoming a captain to charter. So that's another stream of revenue. So and I didn't know that was something else. My father was a captain.
Are you serious?
He was a captain.
She's navigating everywhere.
I did not know that. I knew he had a boat, but I did not know he was a captain. So it just, I
Wow.
picked because now the market might change
Right.
and we don't have real estate, but taxes is there.
Mhm.
Yachting during the boating season, I can make money there. So I always try to make ways to make money to supplement, you know, what needs to happen. Yes. And I enjoy everything.
You got to have fun with it, with whatever you're doing. So no matter what, just don't wrap your arms around it's making money. Let me just do it. Everything that she touches, one, has legacy behind it, and it's something that she's passionate about, actually having fun doing. So that's just one thing I just got from everything today is no matter what business that you're in, do not just do it just because how much someone said that you can make, because at some point you're going to burn out when you're not making that money, and you're going to quit. You're going to quit. She can't quit because it's in her blood already that it's there, and she's got a reason behind her pushing her every single day. So I commend you, friends. I love you. I don't want to mess this internet up too much because it keeps chopping a lot. But one last thing before we leave out and have any questions, if the internet will support it, is the one thing I wanted to find out is one thing that you'll never do again is blank.
One thing I would never do again. What won't I do again? Get married.
Then that wraps it up. And that is your final answer.
Yes. Well, I hope the information that I provided helped in some sense, whatever. I know I do a lot of things, have different aspects about myself, but is being an entrepreneur over these years has been the best decision that I've made, because I used to work a 9 to 5 until one day I said, I'm not doing this no more. I'm gonna work for myself at what expense? And I'm glad that I had it, but it has done me well. And real estate, and that is the main money maker. So I really can't take anything away from my real estate business. That's one. Right. And how I'm able to help families build their legacy. And that's my tagline.
Or of her contact information, you can find her on IG. You can find her Legacy Real Estate on Facebook.
Legacy Real Estate Properties.
On Facebook, on IG. What's your name on IG?
LS Woodward 2.
LS Woodward 2 on IG. So yes, you can better connect, and I did drop her email address. So make sure that you connect with her, another fellow women in business that's not just doing one thing. If anything that we got from this evening is make sure that you've got multiple streams of income going on. After you completed one good thing, move on to the next.
Move on to the next.
And then move on to the next, make some money with that, and then move on to the next. But don't start 5 things at one time. Do not start 5 things at one time.
I did not start like that. I did real estate first.
You need to communicate with her on anything with real estate, anything with taxes, anything with the metaverse. Make sure that you connect with her. She's another fellow woman in business, just like you, Lester, not just like you, but another woman in business, so that you can really just start connecting to different ideas that will help you grow. So thank you very much, LaShawn, for for starting off our first visits with women in business. And I want to thank you guys for showing up tonight, and I will see you later.